Welcome to the Genworth Functional Cognitive Assessment video. This brief video will discuss what a cognitive assessment is, how it is different from a senior assessment, and how to accurately and completely conduct the assessment and fill out the form. The two main goals of this video are, first, to get you familiarized with memory recall exercises on the form, and second, to drive home the importance of answering all questions on the form. This latter point can't be stressed enough, and you will soon discover why. What is a functional cognitive assessment, and how is it different from a senior assessment? You may hear this also referred to as an EMST, which stands for Enhanced Mental Skills Test. This functional cognitive assessment identifies early cognitive risks and has become recognized as a mortality predictor. It uses an advanced algorithm to differentiate cognitive impairment from lapses in attention or concentration that may be due to depression, sleep deprivation, or other disorders. As a result, a cognitive assessment is considered more comprehensive than a traditional senior assessment. Because of the advanced calculations that must be made on the answers, it is imperative that every question is filled out on the form. This point cannot be stressed enough. If any answers on the form are missing, the calculations are incomplete, and an accurate assessment of the individual cannot be made. It's just like a math problem missing key information. First, let's review a few form guidelines. The form is 9 pages long. The first two sections are fairly self-explanatory and similar to the questions asked on a senior assessment form. You will be collecting name, social security number, and providing a response to questions regarding orientation and lifestyle. Please pay close attention to the text in the left margins. It provides instructional information to you about filling out the form or conducting some of the test. Recording the applicant's social security number is often missed due to its placement on the exam form. Beginning on page 4, you must record the applicant's social security number in the space provided at the bottom right of the page. It is very important for the individual scoring the form. The space to record it is a little hidden. It is located on the bottom right of several of the exam pages near the page numbers. Please do not miss this vital step. Here are a few tips to filling out the form. When applicable, clearly mark the circles to indicate the proposed insured's answers. Please remember that this form will be imaged to be faxed or scanned, so the marks you make must be clear. If details do not fit in the spaces or lines provided, you may record additional information in the left margin of the form, but be sure to clearly indicate to which questions those details belong. For instance, under living arrangements, question 3 asks, have you changed your living arrangements in the past 2 years due to medical or any other reasons? You will record the response in the line provided. If details do not fit in this space, just add the additional information in the left margin. When recording information in the left margin, you want to make sure you clearly mark those details as B3 so that they can be matched with the question. Like all medical health forms, we ask you to be as detailed as possible. Here are a few additional tips. Read the questions and options word for word as they are written on the form, and be sure to provide details for any answers that require them. Some questions will ask for you to record your observations. For instance, we see an instructional note here on the left stating that you are to tell the applicant a walking test is next. You will ask them to stand up, walk at least 10 feet, turn around, walk back to the chair, and sit down. In the following questions, you will be asked to describe the applicant's posture, movement, balance, gait, etc. Please be thorough in your evaluation. Now let's move to Section 3, the EMST cognitive test, which we previously discussed. Again, we remind you that every question must be filled out in its entirety. Certain answers affect the calculations differently, so accuracy is key here. One of the most common errors is leaving out a birth date, gender, or education level, or recording the education level incorrectly. You will see the note here on the left. Notice that the question does not ask to write the actual education level, but rather the numerical equivalent. For example, if an applicant answers that they have a master's degree, you would record the number 18 in the space provided. Now we will move on to the cognitive assessment form and the cognitive test section. This is the largest portion of the assessment, which focuses on memory recall. Overall, in this section, you will read a list of words to the applicant 3 times and ask them to recall the same words 4 times with a delay before the 4th time. You will begin slowly by reading instructions for the test here, which tells them that you would like them to try and memorize a list of 10 words, and then you will ask them to recall it. If for some reason the applicant refuses to cooperate, please be sure to provide comments in the space provided below. Notice in the instructions it states that after the applicant hears each word, you are asking them to repeat it, so that you know they heard it correctly. If not repeated correctly, the examiner may repeat and spell the word up to 5 times to try and get the applicant to repeat it correctly. You will read the word oak and then allow the applicant to repeat the word. Then, record whether or not it was repeated correctly. Next, you would read the word rank aloud, and then allow the applicant to repeat the word and record whether or not it was repeated correctly. At the conclusion of this, you will ask the applicant to recall as many words on the list as they can in any order. You will record all of the words in the order in which the applicant says them, even if they are words that were not on the list. If the applicant states brand first, you will record brand in spot 1. If they say monkey next, which is not on the list, you will still write monkey for spot 2. You will record exactly what the applicant states in the order they state them. This is the second recall attempt. You will repeat the first exercise. Begin by reading the 10 words a second time, and after each word, ask the applicant to repeat it so you know they heard it correctly. Then again, you will ask the applicant to recall as many of the words on the list as they can in any order. And then you will record the words recalled in the order that the applicant states them. This exercise is repeated a 3rd time. You will let the applicant know that in a few minutes you will ask them to repeat those 10 words again. You will also ask them to guess how many of those 10 words they will be able to recall, and note the guess on the line provided. In the meantime, you will conduct the EMST animal test exercise. You will read this aloud to the applicant. Now I am going to read you 3 animal names at a time. For each set of animals, I would like you to choose which animal is the most different in any way you consider it to be different. There are no right or wrong answers. You do not have to explain why it is the most different. You will ask the applicant if they understand, and again, record any reason there was refusal to cooperate. You will ask the applicant each of these questions and provide them the options for the answers. Then record them as the proposed insured states. You will ask the applicant if they remember the list that you read them 3 times and ask them to memorize. You will then ask them to repeat as many words from the list and you will record all of the words that they state in the order in which they are recalled, again, including any words on the list and words that were not on the list. Next, on the cognitive assessment form is an extension of the previous exercise in which you read the applicant several words, and for each word, you will have the applicant tell you yes or no whether it was one of the words that they were asked to memorize. This is a continuation of the animal test exercise in which you will ask the applicant to repeat as many of those animals as they can remember. Again, you will record the applicant's answers exactly as they provide them, in any order provided. Section 4 is the post-exam summary. This portion of the form should be completed at the conclusion of the exam, preferably after the examiner has left the exam room or location. It requires examiner observation, so again, please provide as much detail as you can in your response. You will conclude the cognitive assessment by recording your examiner information by hand or with a stamp. This concludes the functional cognitive assessment video. We appreciate your time and attention to accurately and completely provide this service to this very important customer. Should you have any questions about the forms or services, please contact Tracy Beal at tbeal@superiormobilemedics.com or 800-898-3926 extension 527. Thank you again.